For nearly 2 million years, human beings were being slowly stripped of everything that made them look like other animals. We lost our fur, we lost our claws, we lost the thick protective coat that every other primate still carries. We became the only naked ape on this planet, bare, exposed, vulnerable. But in that long transformation, something strange happened. Evolution took hair from almost everywhere on the body. Yet on the male face, it did the opposite. It didn't just leave hair behind, it made it thicker, darker, more impossible to ignore. If beards were useless, they should have vanished with the rest of our fur. The fact that they didn't means they were solving a problem so old it predates the first word ever spoken. And what that problem was may change how you see every face you meet today. The surprising answer is that beards probably didn't survive because they kept anyone warm. They survived because they changed how other humans saw the man wearing one. But proving that takes us somewhere unexpected, into a debate scientists still can't agree on, into the psychology of ancient faces, and into an instinct that may still be running inside you right now. Let me start with something that might change how you see your own skin. You think humans lost their hair? We didn't. Not really. Humans carry roughly the same number of hair follicles as a chimpanzee, about 5 million of them. The difference is that ours became so thin, so fine, so nearly invisible that we look bare. We didn't lose hair, we hid it. Every square inch of your body is still covered. You just can't see it. And we hid it for a reason that was genuinely terrifying. Picture the African savanna, maybe 2 million years ago. The sun is direct, the air is still, no shade worth trusting. You are a small, fragile primate with no claws, no fangs, no fur to protect you at night. Your only advantage is that you can sweat. You can dump heat faster than almost any animal alive. You can keep moving when antelopes overheat. You can run something down until it collapses. That was the trade. Fur for distance, insulation for endurance. But it came with a brutal cost. Without fur, your skin burns in daylight. Your nights turn freezing. Your infants die without constant warmth. You become utterly dependent on fire, on tools, on each other. The naked ape wasn't just exposed, he was cornered. And that corner is what forced humans to become something no other animal had ever tried. A species where isolation means death, where cooperation isn't optional, where the group is the only armor that matters. So if losing fur made humans so desperately vulnerable, why would evolution keep hair on the one surface everyone reads first? Most people assume beards are about attraction. Women like them, men grow them. Simple. When researchers actually tested this, something unexpected happened. Women's preferences for beards turned out mixed, sometimes positive, sometimes not. Inconsistent across cultures, across studies, across relationship types. But there was one response that stayed remarkably stable. Men rated other men with beards as more dominant, more formidable, older, more intimidating. Think about what that means. The signal wasn't aimed at women, it was aimed at rivals. And the timing proves it. A beard doesn't grow at birth. It doesn't appear in childhood. It arrives at puberty, flooded by testosterone, triggered at the exact moment a boy's body is being biologically rewritten for competition. His voice deepens, his shoulders widen, his muscle mass surges, and his face changes. Hair begins growing on the jaw, the cheeks, the chin, transforming a boy's face into something the group must read differently. This is not random. This is not decorative. The body is making an announcement. This male is no longer a child. He has entered the arena, and the beard is the flag planted on his face to prove it. What's strange is that this transformation happens to every male everywhere, in every culture, in every climate. Whether you live in the Arctic or the equator, the same hormonal instruction fires at the same stage of life, as if the body already knows what the face needs to say, long before the mind does. Your brain still runs that calculation. When you see a bearded face, something deep in your nervous system fires before you're even aware of it. Is this person mature? Is this person a threat? Should I challenge them or step back? You do this in the grocery store, in the office, on a crowded subway. You don't mean to, but your body remembers a world where reading the wrong face could cost you everything. Imagine two men meeting on an open plain tens of thousands of years ago. No shared history, no common language complex enough for negotiation. Just two bodies approaching and two faces doing all the talking. One has a thick beard framing his jaw, making him look heavier, older, more dangerous. The other is young, smooth-faced, still becoming. Who backs down? That decision, made in seconds, could determine who ate, who mated, who survived the week. Yet something didn't fit. If beards were only about looking tough, they'd be a fragile strategy, a bluff anyone could call. Then researchers at the University of Utah noticed something stranger. They tested whether facial hair could absorb blunt force to the jaw. Thick beards measurably reduced impact energy. Not enough to win a fight, but enough to suggest that across hundreds of thousands of years of male competition, a beard may have functioned as a thin layer of biological armor on the most breakable part of the face. So the beard wasn't just a billboard, it was part shield, a tool that served two masters at once: display and survival. And ancient humans knew exactly what they had. Archaeologists keep finding grooming tools in prehistoric graves: flint blades shaped for scraping, obsidian edges fine enough to cut hair, clamshells used like razors. Later, bronze tweezers and razors buried with elite men. These weren't random objects, they were instruments. Evidence that ancient people weren't passively growing hair and forgetting about it. They were curating their faces, choosing when to amplify the signal and when to strip it away. And they didn't all choose the same way. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups found something that shatters the idea of a single primitive default. Hadza men in Tanzania often trim their facial hair short. Some Aboriginal Australian groups historically plucked their beards entirely, pulling each hair with the edge of a shell. Inuit men in the Arctic, living in the coldest conditions on Earth, often grow sparse beards despite the freezing air. If beards were simply about warmth, the Inuit would have the thickest beards of any humans alive. They don't. Because the beard was never about temperature, it was about communication. And different groups communicated differently. They weren't passive recipients of biology, they were editors of it, choosing what to keep, what to remove, and what to reshape, based on what their world demanded. That's only half the story. When beards become common in a population, they actually become less attractive. When they're rare, preference for them spikes. Evolutionary psychologists call this negative frequency-dependent selection. In plain language, the beard is most powerful when not everyone has one. Grow it to stand out, shave it to stand out. The power was never in the hair, it was in being read correctly by the people around you. You still play this game every single day. The man trimming his beard before a job interview is editing a signal he can't name. The teenager staring in the mirror, waiting for his first facial hair, isn't just waiting for keratin. He's waiting for his face to start saying something new to the world. The executive who grows a beard after years of clean-shaven compliance is quietly changing how his tribe reads him. And it works in directions you don't consciously notice. A dating app profile photo flashes on a screen for less than a second before the thumb swipes left or right. In that fraction of a moment, your brain is doing what it has always done, scanning the face for cues of maturity, health, formidability, trust. The beard is part of that silent calculation, whether you are the one being judged or the one doing the judging. In a meeting room, a bearded man speaking calmly is often perceived as more authoritative than a clean-shaven colleague saying the same words. Not because the beard makes him smarter, but because it makes him look older, more established, harder to dismiss. The people in that room are not trying to be biased. They are running a program that was written before meeting rooms existed, before offices existed, before the concept of a job existed. They are reacting to a face the way their ancestors reacted to a face on an open plain. The setting changed. The instinct didn't. None of them know they're doing it, but the instinct is older than language. Here is what I find most remarkable about all of this. We tend to think of human progress as a story of leaving nature behind. Tools, cities, medicine, screens. We imagine we've outgrown the old programs. But the beard tells a quieter story. Some of the most sophisticated things about humans were never invented. They were evolved, slowly, over immense time, in response to problems we can barely picture now. The problem wasn't the cold. The problem was other people. And the solution wasn't a machine. It was a face that could speak without ever opening its mouth. The next time you see a beard, on a stranger, on a colleague, on someone across a crowded room, or looking back at you through a mirror, you might think you're seeing a style choice, a personal preference, a bit of fashion. But underneath that, something far older is running. Your brain is following instructions written hundreds of thousands of years before the first word was ever spoken. Look at this face. Decide what it means. Decide whether to trust it, fear it, follow it, or walk away. And the man wearing the beard? He may believe he's expressing himself, but his body is carrying out a plan that was never his to write. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to BackTimes, hit the bell icon, and share this video with someone who loves history.